Alright, me muckers. UFC 328. Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. It's a big deal. It's coming up and it's a big deal. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a big deal. What isn't a big deal is the first fight of the night. Clayton Carpenter versus Jose Ochoa. I lean towards Ochoa. Clayton Carpenter, in my opinion, not all that. Coming off of a 2-fight losing streak. I know Ochoa isn't flawless by any stretch. He's 1-2. In fact, at least Clayton Carpenter's going even Stevens in the UFC. But yeah, it's a tough one. I just feel like if we look at the level of competition that Clayton Carpenter's kind of been stopped at, it's Tagia Ulanbekov and Rafael Filho. You know? They're not particularly like incredible fighters themselves. You know, they're better than Clayton Carpenter. Probably better than Ochoa too, but I don't think Ochoa would beat them either. So it's a tough one. And again, I don't know, maybe we're right, because then I suppose he's also lost to a similar level of competition as well inside the UFC. So it is a tough one, but I do lean towards Ochoa, to be honest with you. I feel like the 2-fight skid is kind of like it's kind of a sign Clayton Carpenter needs to shake things up inside of his career, maybe change camps or whatnot. Maybe he has changed camps. Who knows? I don't think he has, though. Yeah, I'm going to go with Ochoa. I'm going with Ochoa for this one. I think it's going to be a boring decision, mind you, so take that as you will. On to a more entertaining fight. We've got Baisango Susagayev versus Jordan Santos, the Jordan Santos. I lean towards Baisango Susagayev, of course I do. You know, he's Khamzat Chimaev's boy, talking about him like he's going to be the next Khamzat, you know, coming into the UFC, and I think he's got all finishes inside the UFC, right? Finish on contenders, finish, yeah. Not the most amazing of competition, mind you. Not like world beaters, you know? But he dispatched them fairly quickly. My only worry with Susagayev is with this sussy boy, is his chin. He's happy to get hit, and so far it's not really been an issue. But, you know, he's been boxing with, you know, Eric Nolan. You know, he's been boxing with Eric McConaughey. Like, someone else might put you out. I know you know, he just seems too happy to take the shots. Like, he just lets the guys hit him. I've watched them in back-to-back fights, and sure, he won both of them by a finish. I've seen him in back-to-back fights deliberately letting himself get hit just for the fun of it. Like scrumptious, yum. I watched him get wobbled by Eric McConaughey because he let himself get hit like 3 times consecutively. So I don't know. I worry about the fight IQ of Baisango. I worry about the fight IQ. Maybe I worry about the ego. Maybe I worry about his ego getting him into trouble. But I don't think it's going to be a problem against Jordan Santos, against the Jordan Santos. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Yeah, I don't think so. Lost to Ozzy Diaz, you know, and Ozzy Diaz isn't like incredible. Got a win over Danny Barlow though, and Danny Barlow's alright. Bit of a weird guy is the Jordan Santos, I suppose, but I think he's going to get absolutely mauled by Baisango. I could see a TKO, I really could. I could see a TKO. Santos is, you know, I just see him getting beaten down, to be honest with you. I could just see Santos getting beaten down by Baisango Susagayev. So yeah, so I lean in favour of a TKO for Baisango. On to the next one. We've got Pat Sabatini versus William Gomez. Gomez, my apologies. He's from France. Francais. Parlez-vous français? Of course not. Yeah, another tough one. To be honest with you, I lean towards Gomez. It's a tough one though. It's a tough one. It's more Pat Sabatini's age that kind of makes me think, you know, Gomez is going to come up and do some damage. But to be fair to Pat Sabatini, he's on a 3-fight winning streak against not the worst guys in the world, but also not world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, you know, a loss to Haider Emil isn't even that bad for William Gomez, because Haider Emil's all right. So yeah, I think I am going to go with Gomez. I think I am. It's going to be a decision. I do think it's going to be a decision. But yeah, I lean towards William Gomez for this one. I think it's going to be William Gomez by a decision. On to the next one. We've got Roman Kopylov versus Marco Tulio. This actually is a very tough one. This is a tough one to pick between the two. It's a little bit like, I don't want to say a mirror match, but they're very similar in their physical attributes. Yes, literally very similar. Super similar in physical attributes. Super similar. And And I'm back. Apologies. Don't want to say it's a mirror match, but it's very close to a mirror match. So very close to a mirror match. Marco Tulio has, you know, the better record. Sure. But in Roman Kopulov's defense, less fights in the UFC. Marco Tulio. I don't know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I don't know. I do struggle between the two. I lean towards Tulio. I do lean towards Tulio. But Roman Kopylov is pretty good. And to be fair, losing to Gregory Rodriguez, not that bad of a loss. Losing to Paulo Costa, again, both decisions as well. And Gregory Rodriguez can finish you. Paulo Costa's tough too. It's pretty good. Chris Curtis is pretty good. Chris Curtis will throw away a fight, but Chris Curtis is pretty good. Yeah, you know, Anthony Hernandez is pretty good as well. It's not. My green screen's dying on me. Yeah, it's not. That's not a terrible loss. That's not a terrible loss at all. You know what? We're going to go with Roman Kopylov. We're going to go with Roman Kopylov. I don't know if we're going to get a finish here. He did get chinned by CLD, to be fair, and that was a fight that Marco Tulio was winning though as well. Oh, it's a tough one. Win over Trajan Gore knocked him out. Ihor Potieria knocked him out. Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough one. Oh, it's a real tough one. Roman Kopylov is the underdog as well. I think everyone else has already noticed what I have just noticed. Yeah, go on. You know what? We'll mix it up. We're going to go with Marco Tulio. I reckon Marco Tulio by knockout. It'll be a good back and forth, though. And there's no reason why Roman Kopylov couldn't catch him as well. But no, I'm going to go with Marco Tulio. I think he was winning that fight against CLD. I think I do rate CLD pretty highly. So yeah, I'm going to go with Marco Tulio. I'm going to mix it up. I was leaning towards Roman Kopylov, but upon further examination, we're going to go with Marco Tulio. I think he was winning that fight against CLD, and he got caught by the spinning back fist in a fight that he was winning. So, provided nothing like that happened, that's what I mean though, because Roman Kopylov could catch him. He could catch him, and once something like that happens, once you start second guessing yourself, it might happen again. Sorry about this green screen. My apologies. Everything's going wrong today. Everything else has gone wrong. But yeah, we're gonna go with Marco Tulio. We're gonna mix it up. Yeah, why not? We're gonna go with the green screen's a sign. Every time I mention Roman Kopylov, the green look. See, I said his name and the green screen broke. He's cursed. So we're gonna go with Marco Tulio, and the green screen gets better. We're going with Marco Tulio. My green screen decided for me. Going with Marco Tulio by knockout because the green screen said so. That's all I've got for you. Next up is Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Now, Jim Miller, veteran of the game. We love Jim Miller, and the fact that he's still getting the occasional win is pretty good as well. It's a tough one. I'm going with Jared Gordon. Obviously, I'm going with Jared Gordon. That's how tough it is. Now, I mean, I've got to go with him. Jared Gordon, pretty good to be fair. No contest with Bobby Green, fair enough. Knocks out his next opponent. Loses a split decision against Nasrat Haqparast. Knocks out Thiago Moises, which Moises is pretty good. As the green screen breaks again. Let me just... There we go, that's better, right? Hopefully. Who could say? Let me know in the comments down below. Back to the video. Yeah, and you know, Jim Miller's still scooping up wins. He can't really see losing to a decision to Bobby Green isn't the worst either. Sorry, King Green. Losing a decision to King Green isn't like the worst in the world. You know, Bobby Green's still scooping up wins every now and again. Sorry, the King Green is now scooping up wins every now and again. As is Jim Miller. So it's a tough one. 42 years of age, going up against the 37-year-old Jared Gordon. And you know what? Jared Gordon probably should have won that fight against Nasrat Haqparast. It's a tough one. I'm going to go with Jared Gordon. You know what? No, I'm going with Jim Miller to win a split decision. I think Jared Gordon's getting robbed again. No, yeah, I'm going with Jared Gordon by a decision. Yeah, I'm going with Jared Gordon, unanimous decision. Um, Hopefully he doesn't get robbed again. I think he's got the skills to pay the bills in this fight. Not against Jim Miller. I just think, time beats everybody. And even though he's scooping up a couple of wins every now and again, it's not like he's beating, the best of the best at the minute. He's just getting a couple of the guys at the bottom of the division and stuff. So, yeah, we're going to go with Jared Gordon. We're going to go with Jared Gordon, who's not that bad, really. It's not terrible. Next up is Grant Dawson versus Mateusz Rebecki. Tough one to pick. Mateusz Rebecki on a skid. But then in between, he gets a split decision win over Mike Bekorobai, who's pretty good in my opinion. Loses to Chris Duncan. Fair enough. Ludwig Klein as well. Loses with the majority decision. It's a tough one. Manuel Torres knocked him out. Bobby Green knocked him out. It's Grant Dawson, so. Yeah, I don't know. No, you know what? I do know. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson. I'm going to take Grant Dawson for this one. I think the two fight skids are a pretty big indicator. Maybe it's maybe Rebecki's at his level now. He's not really going to improve much more, and that's fair enough. And maybe we could put down the Orobai win to just a lucky day. Maybe we'll say that. Yeah, we're gonna go with Grant Dawson. Do I think we're gonna get a knockout in this fight? Probably not. Is he getting knocked out recently? No, he's getting. He got knocked out by Diego Ferreira. Does Grant Dawson hit like Diego Ferreira? Not really. In fact, if anything, nah. You know what? We're gonna go Grant Dawson again by another decision. We're going to go Grant Dawson by decision. On to the next one. We've got Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. Yaroslav Amosov. One more time. We've got Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov. Yaroslav. That's fine. Yaroslav will do. So yeah. Amosov, right? Amosov. I can say it. Amosov beat Neil Magny on short notice, I'm fairly sure, 4 months ago. I'm fairly sure that fight was on short notice, and it was his UFC debut as well, and he did ridiculously good against Neil Magny. Now, Neil Magny isn't amazing, don't get me wrong, but he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy to put away, especially a tough guy to finish. So getting a submission over Neil Magny, that's pretty good. Joel Alvarez, only, lost to Arman Tsarukyan, and you can't really judge him for that. And since then, he's been doing pretty well. Since then. This will be a big test for both of them, I think. I want to go with Joel Alvarez. He's got more... he's more proven, I suppose. He's more proven in the UFC. And not his only loss, but his most recent loss is to Arman Tsarukyan, which isn't like... Yeah, he lost to potentially the next champ. That loss has only aged like fine wine, in my opinion. But we just really don't have as much information about Amosov. Yeah, Amosov. We don't really have enough information about Amosov to kind of make an accurate prediction. Sure, he's got wins outside the UFC and Bellator, but we don't really, really compare those two. So yeah, we're gonna go with Joel Alvarez. Do I think he's going to knock him out? Potentially. There is potential for a knockout in this fight. Yeah, go on. You know what? I'll go with Joel Alvarez by a knockout over Yaroslav Amosov. I can't say his name altogether. That's the problem. Amosov. Yaroslav Amosov. There we go. I said it. Yaroslav Amosov. I'm adding syllables. Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're going to go with Joel Alvarez to TKO Amoslav. Next fight is Ataber Gutierrez versus Ozzy Diaz. We're going with Ataber Gutierrez. Look, Ozzy Diaz is being fed to him. Ozzy Diaz is supposed to get chinned brutally. He's supposed to be knocked brutally unconscious. There's going to be a sliming. Ozzy Diaz's chin is going to leave his head. His soul will leave his body. And Ataber Gutierrez is going to win by TKO. That was nice and easy, wasn't it? On to the next one. Bobby Green, King Green, the King Green, versus Jeremy Stephens. What a blast from the past, eh, guys? What a blast from the past. We've got Bobby, no longer Bobby Green. We've got King Green versus who the fuck is that guy? Isn't that crazy? That's excellent. Excellent. I should have really, if I was being smart, I should have been like, oh, and we've got King Green versus who the fuck is that guy? But we weren't clever enough to come up with that in the moment, so we just had to pretend we did just then. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pick Jeremy Stephens. Of course I'm not. Look, I'm riding high with Bobby Green right now. I picked Paddy Pimblett to beat him. Happy with that. I picked Mauricio Ruffi to beat him. I'm happy with that. Then I picked Bobby Green. I picked King Green to beat Lance Gibson. And then I picked King Green again to beat Daniel Zellhuber. I think the King's going to do it again. I think the King will reign again. Bobby Green's going to absolutely chin Jeremy Stephens. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I really do. I think it's a good fight to start off the main card as well. And this is the start of the main card. I don't know if you can see past my fat head. There we go. This is the main card. This is starting us off. It's actually a decent little scrap. I'm going to go with Bobby Green. I'm going to go with King Green. And you know what? Based on the fact that he managed to get the knockout of Daniel Zellhuber, I'm going to go with another TKO. I'm going to go with another TKO. It's probably going to be a decision. No, I'm going to go with a decision. I'm going to go with a King Green decision. By the books, you know. Yeah. What a record, man. Bobby Green's something spectacular. One of my favourite fighters. Good to see he's still going. And Jeremy Stephens is back, man. What a time to be alive. Jeremy Stephens is back in the UFC. What the hippity heck? Next fight is Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. I'm going to say something a bit controversial here. It's probably not that controversial. Actually, I don't think I know anybody that likes Sean Brady or really rates Sean Brady that highly. I don't at all. Look at Joaquin Buckley's record. His only loss is to former champion Kamaru Usman. Now, we picked Joaquin Buckley to win that fight. We're a little bit disappointed about that. But his only loss in his last 5 fights, like his most recent loss, we'll say, is to Kamaru Usman. Former champion Kamaru Usman. Who, you know, he's putting up tough fights with everybody he's facing at the minute. But yeah, everyone he's fought recently, even though he hasn't won against all of them, he's put up a good scrap. He's made it very difficult. And Kamaru Usman's getting on a bit, is my point. So it's not, you know, maybe not the greatest guy to lose to, because it isn't going to age very well now. But, you know, it is going to age very well from now on, I don't think. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe Kamaru will get a title shot somehow, and it will age very well. But yeah, I mean, he could potentially argue, not really off the back of a Joaquin Buckley win, but maybe, to be fair. Anyway, not the point. The point is, Joaquin Buckley, spectacular. Sean Brady, sure he lost to Bilal Muhammad, but he got knocked out by Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Pillow Hands Muhammad. Bilal Dorito Muhammad. Sure, he beat Kelvin Gastelum. Kelvin Gastelum's fat. I'm just saying it. He beat Kelvin Fatsalem. Wow. Woo. Sean Brady beat Kelvin Fatsalem. Next champion, goated. No, ridiculous. Gilbert Burns. He fought the ghost of Gilbert Burns and took him to a decision. Just saying it. I'm just being honest. Then he fought Leon Edwards, who's been absolutely awful. He's cursed. Leon Edwards is cursed. He got the belt and he's been cursed ever since. Okay, so he won against the cursed Leon Edwards. I'd absolutely bewitched Leon Edwards. And then he gets chinned by Michael Morales, someone who's actually like a contender. Who's actually like up and coming and a contender. You know? Big tells for me. I don't think Sean Brady's ever going to be anything inside of the UFC. I'm calling it now. I'm fairly sure I said this last time when he went against Michael Morales. But yeah, no. I don't think Sean Brady's ever going to be anything inside the UFC. He's got some good grappling, but everywhere else he's just fucking awful. Actually just awful. And I think he's going to get absolutely destroyed by Buckley. So yeah, we're going to go with Joaquin Buckley for this one. I think he's going to absolutely obliterate Sean Brady. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it finished. Yeah, I'm going to go with a finish. I think he's going to chin Sean Brady. Unlucky, Mr. Brady. So yeah, Joaquin Buckley by TKO. KO TKO. Next up, we've got Alexander Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. We're going with Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think this is a big challenge for him, but I think he can do it. I mean, he made Derek Lewis fall over, and that's pretty impressive. And you know, Derek Lewis can just stand up, but he didn't when Waldo just kind of knocked him over. So yeah, and he beat the King Shamil Gassiev. I know Shamil's not been looking great recently, but you know, it was Waldo Cortez Acosta that absolutely dethroned the King Shamil Gassiev. Ante Delija was on an absolute fucking tear before he ran into Waldo Cortez Acosta. He lost to Sergey Pavlovich, who is scary. He's just this big scary dude, you know. And so he beat Sergey Spivak as well. You know what? I'm not angry with this matchup. This is a very good matchup. I don't know if I lean towards Volkov now, though. Because Volkov's good, man. He's got good hands, too. And he's the slight favourite. You know what? No, I'm going to go with Waldo Cortez Acosta. I feel like he's got some really good momentum. And you know what? I think he can do it. I think he can put a hand on the chin of Alexander Volkov fairly easily. And put him out. Why is my green screen so broken today? There we go. It's fixed again. Yeah, I think he can knock him out. I really do. I think he can knock Volkov out. That being said, Volkov's super tricky. Like, super, super tricky. In my opinion. Where is it? Show me. There it is right there. In my opinion, and I think most people agree, Volkov won the fight against Cyril Gane. That split decision loss, that should be a win. Volkov should have challenged for the title. Volkov should be challenging for a title. He got robbed. Cyril Gane, the worst fighter at heavyweight. Somehow, the flukiest fighter at heavyweight. Somehow getting by. Somehow still getting title shots. But yeah, no, Volkov won that fight 100%. This is a big test for Waldo Cortez Acosta. I think he's going to pass it. I do think he's going to pass it. But I will be having money on Volkov as well. I will have money on Volkov as well. But I'm picking Waldo Cortez Acosta for this one by knockout. I think the momentum is going to play a huge factor in this fight. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm actually quite excited for this one. It's a good fight. It's a really good fight. I think Waldo Cortez Acosta. I'd rather see Waldo Cortez Acosta fight Cyril Gane. Anyway. We're coming on to the co-main event time. We've got the fake champ. Yeah, I said it. Joshua Van versus Tatsuo Taira, having another go against a different guy this time, though. It's a tough one. Tatsuo Taira's like good too. I don't know, man. I don't know. It is a tough one. It is a very tough one. But before that, like, I've been a fan of Joshua Van. Like, I have been a fan of Joshua Van already. But it was the win over Pantoja and the way he celebrated and like he'd won a fight. He got kicked in the head and the guy fell over. Like, you actually didn't even do anything. You got kicked in the head. Joshua Van got kicked in the head and Pantoja fell over and broke his arm from kicking him in the head, you know? It's not like he did anything spectacular. It's really not. Really, really not. Which is a shame. Which is a big shame. But you know what? Give him his credit where it's due. Maybe he probably wouldn't have won that fight if it had gone any differently. Probably wouldn't have won that fight. But yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with Joshua Van. I think Van retains his title. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I think Joshua Van retains his title. No, you know what? Oh, this is tough. Because I like both guys is the problem. What does Tapology think? Tapology reckons Taira by a submission or decision. Van by knockout. Do I think Van can knock out Tatsuo Taira? Probably not. Taira's got a pretty good chin. It's a tough one. Can he point him to a decision though? No, you know what? Based on finish potential, I lean towards Tatsuo Taira, but it's the Brandon Royval loss, whereas Joshua Van just kind of absolutely bullied Royval everywhere. That makes me question. Let me see physical attributes. See, Taira's taller and has the reach advantage as well. I don't think... It's a tough one. It is a tough one. Tatsuo Taira is the betting favourite. You know what? Yeah, Tatsuo Taira. I'm gonna go with Tatsuo Taira by some sort of finish. I think he could submit him. I think Tatsuo Taira by submission over Joshua Van. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Yeah, I think Tatsuo Taira by submission over Joshua Van. I think Joshua Van, this is too much too soon. He shouldn't have really become champion. Could have called that fight a no contest and ran it back when Pantoja's arm had healed. But then again, they're literally in no divisions. Like, this fight right here, this middleweight fight right here is like the only thing they've got going on right now before the White House card. Simply to save fights for the White House card. You know? Nonetheless, we'll go Tatsuo Taira by submission, and then we'll move on to our main event. The big one. Khamzat Chimaev versus Sean Strickland. That's got to be Khamzat, isn't it? It's got to be Khamzat, isn't it? It's going to be Khamzat. It's got to be Khamzat. It's got to be... Khamzat's going to win. It's got to be Khamzat. Yeah, I mean... Sean Strickland's good. Don't get me wrong. And I think it was the fight before Izzy Adesanya. He fought... forgotten his name now. Let me... Just 1 second. Just 1 second. That was it. Abus Magomedov. And Nasruddin Imavov as well. Both of those fights were like, yo, these guys are having a really tough time using that Russian, that mountain daggy style wrestling, daggy style grappling to kind of control Sean, and Sean managed to pull ahead and get away each time, and land some good strikes as well, circling out, and that was interesting to see. And he talks about it like, you know, oh, he can handle these Eastern European grapplers, these Russian grapplers, these daggy grapplers. So it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. But look at the absolute tear, man. 15-0. Absolute dominance from Khamzat Chimaev. Never really looking in much trouble aside from... I think Gilbert Burns gave him a bit of a tough one. Gave him a tougher fight. And that's crazy because Gilbert Burns was never the same after this fight as well. That was 4 years ago. Gilbert Burns was never the same after fighting Khamzat like that. After blood and guts, going to war with Khamzat. And you know what? He rocked Khamzat like twice in that fight as well. That was a really good fight, really entertaining fight. But Gilbert Burns was never the same. Yeah, Kevin Holland fight was boring. He just finished him straight away. The Usman fight was also a little bit challenging. And you know what? You could even give that fight to Usman. You really could. There'd be an argument for Usman. If that fight was 2 more rounds, if that was a championship fight, Usman wins that fight. This is like I was saying earlier. Usman's still good. Like, as much as I shit on Usman because he's got no knees and whatever, for an old man with no knees, he's brilliant. Brilliant. Made Khamzat struggle more than he struggled against anybody, and he nearly won the fight. Probably, I think he won the fight. I think Khamzat lost to Usman, which is, you know, crazy to think about. But yeah, I was live for the last event, and someone was talking about, you know, Usman isn't appreciated as much as he should be. You know, as a champion, you know. You know what? Probably right. Kamaru Usman's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Even if he didn't win this fight on paper, I think he won this fight. But anyway, not the point. Not the point. Breaks Whittaker's jaw, but Whittaker had a pre-existing injury. What I'm saying is that although it's been dominant, and he did break Gilbert Burns, he did kill Gilbert Burns' spirit. These finishes where he jumps on Kevin Holland and just, it's done. Not that entertaining, and also not that difficult. Kevin Holland can't grapple. Like, he just can't, he just hasn't got high-level grappling. It's that weird difficult for Khamzat to do. If you wanted to impress me, stand and bang with Kevin Holland. That would have impressed me. Kamaru Usman, that was a struggle. They grappled. It was a grappling match pretty much. And I think Kamaru won that fight. So not impressed again. Whittaker's face breaking. To be fair, he got to the neck pretty quickly. And Whittaker, you know, again, a former champion. It's just Whittaker's pre-existing injury, and then his jaw gets broken. You know, it's a shame for Whittaker, but also a shame for Khamzat, because it's like, that's not as impressive again. It's still not as impressive again. And then we've got DDP, the DDP fight, where he just kind of lay on top of him from start to finish. And yeah, it was dominant. It was a dominant victory. But it was fucking boring again. It was fucking boring. Actually just boring. So I'm hoping Sean Strickland wins. I'm hoping we get a teep and a jab and a shaking off the takedowns to a win, to a victory from Sean Strickland. I really do. I hope that's what we get. But I'll be honest with you, I think Khamzat's just going to pick him up, sit him down, and from that point it's probably going to be over, if we're being honest with ourselves. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know what Sean Strickland's going to be able to do to stop Khamzat Chimaev. And don't get me wrong, I'm probably going to put money on Sean Strickland because, I mean, look at the odds, right? Look at the odds. Look at the odds. No one thinks he has a chance, okay? You know, no one thinks he has a chance. And I remember, like, the last time, it's on screen right now, everyone said Sean Strickland had no chance. And that was the time he absolutely bullied Israel Adesanya all over the place. All over the place. Abused him. Dog walked him. To bring it back to 2 years, 7 months ago. Dog walked Israel Adesanya. If you know, you know. Yeah, it's a rough one. And, you know, Paulo Costa, split decision. Paulo's tough as well. Paulo's another guy that's beast with Khamzat. That's the thing. There's rumours of a sparring match between the two of them, and Khamzat tapped Sean Strickland, and Sean Strickland says, no, we were doing drills, and he started on my back in the worst position, and so, yeah, he submitted me. But when we actually sparred, I had him quitting. So, I don't know. It's all going to come down to the first 30 seconds and if Khamzat takes him down or not. And if Sean Strickland can prove that he can stop the takedowns, then it's going to be a very different fight. But I can't go off ifs, buts, and maybes. So it's going to be Khamzat Chimaev for me. I'm going to pick Khamzat Chimaev. And you know what? Similar to DDP, I think it's going to be a boring decision. I think if Khamzat wins, he's going to lay on top of Sean Strickland, and everyone on Twitter is going to be like, oh yes, Khamzat the greatest fighter. Khamzat the greatest fighter ever. Hit my 5-word. And it's boring. And then someone's going to say, that was boring. And they're going to say, go watch boxing. Go watch boxing. He's my hero. But yeah, it'll be a boring fight. It's going to be boring. If Khamzat wins, it's going to be fucking boring. Even if it's like an instant submission, that's still pretty boring. I'd rather see him like knock someone out. But I don't think Khamzat really knocks people out. He knocked someone out once, right? I'm sure he's got knockout finishes, right? Surely. Yeah, he's got 6 knockouts. What am I talking about? That's a submission. It's a submission. Oh, that's a submission. There we go. So he knocked out Gerald Meerschaert. The ghost of Gerald Meerschaert. Rhys McKee. That's a submission. Yeah, you know, he's got some knockouts, but not really many in the UFC and not really over anyone very good. So maybe that is the weakness. Maybe if Sean Strickland can stay on his feet, he can teep and jab his way to a victory against Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll put a little bit of money on it. It'll be, you know, well, imagine it does happen. And then I can be like, I knew all along. That's what I'll say. Like I said in the video, like I predicted. But yeah, no, we're gonna go with Khamzat Chimaev. I'm gonna go with a decision. Khamzat Chimaev by decision. I think Sean Strickland can defend himself for a full hour if it came down to it. If the guy's just laying on top of him trying to find submissions, I think Sean Strickland could sit in a 50-50 position or sit on bottom position for an entire fight, to be honest with you. Just like DDP did, and just survive and not get finished. I think that's perfectly within Sean Strickland's wheelhouse, and I think Khamzat Chimaev will be content to just lay on top. Yeah, I think that really sums it up. But yeah, that does conclude this prediction video. If you enjoyed it, leave me a like down below. Subscribe for more. We do these weekly. And until next time, keep your chin down and keep swinging. Peace and love. I'll see you around.